vaya temazo. Ahí viene. 3, 2, 1. Leide. Ahora. Leide. No, joder, tío, ¿cuándo viene Leide, tío? ¡Ah, mira! Leide. Toma por culo, tío. Paso esta canción de mierda. Leide. Toma por culo, tío, de verdad. Espera, lo tomo. Os voy a dedicar este Leide. ¡Se viene! No, aún no. Leide. ¡Vete a tomar!
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Wednesday, March 20th, 2024. I'm J.E. Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, Tass Mellis.
Podcast listeners, is that box out, kid? This one's for you.
Next to him, it's the bearded one, my top shot hot boy, Trey Kirby.
Hey,
yo. And last but not least, back from a well-deserved vacation, it's super producer JD.
Hello.
There he is. How was it, big guy?
Amazing.
Yeah?
Pickleball, beach, happy hour, repeat for 6 days straight.
That's a t-shirt slogan right there. You can buy those later at breakingt.com. Wow. Well, it's great to have you back. Ash held it down.
Yeah, shout out to Ash for stepping in. It was much appreciated, and yeah, it was great.
You feel recharged?
I do feel recharged.
Good.
I feel new lease on life.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Vacations. Who knew?
They
Who
work.
knew? They work.
I didn't see a single photo of this vacation.
You're
That's how
goddamn
you
right.
know it was a real vacation.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Not a single photo of a beach or a pickleball court or a drink.
Nope. No flexing here. Just straight up enjoying myself.
Thanks for not taking a photo of your feet on a beach chair. You see those a lot. Hell, I'm guilty. I know I've got one or two out there.
See your little hot dog legs. Sometimes you just see the people's knees sticking out of their swim trunks. They just look like two little hot dogs.
Yeah.
Hot dogs or knees. That definitely was a thing for a while. All right, JD's back. Let's get into it. Shout out to the stream team joining us live on YouTube. Hit that like button, subscribe, podcast listeners. Leave us a 5-star rating and review. A couple games on last night. A little bit later in the show, Trey's going to take us through his all most improved teams. And you teased it at the end of yesterday's show, this idea of like micro betting coming to League Pass. We'll get into all that. But games, big one. Jokic, 35 points, helping the Nuggets to the 115-112 win over the shorthanded Timberwolves, missing a lot of their big guys. But a really close game. They fought back in the third quarter, Anthony Edwards with the takeover. Then they started hitting a bunch of threes at the end, and it was still a game.
Yeah.
And the Nuggets pull it out. But what do you think?
I was excited, Anthony Edwards playing the showman. He said before the game, he told Taylor Rooks, I will be one of the first players to take the Timberwolves to the finals. Then he jumps ball at center against Nikola Jokic.
Cool.
Why did you do that? Because they're playing without their three bigs, Rudy Gobert, Karl Anthony Towns, and Naz Reid. Yep. So they're just looking for guys. I loved watching Kyle Anderson, of all people, guard Nikola Jokic. At the beginning of this game, Jokic literally was just putting one hand on Kyle Anderson's chest and pushing them out of the way, and then scoring. And then Luka Garza coming off the bench to try and guard Jokic. Now, they played the defense that they would play against him if they played in the postseason, which is make Jokic a scorer.
Yeah.
I'm going to guard you one-on-one. Rudy Gobert will be guarding him, I'm sure, if they ever met. Last year in the playoffs, guarded him fairly well. In the first round, it was a 5-game series. He scored a ton against Rudy Gobert, but he's going to score against everybody. Mm-hmm. And he did in this one, 35 points, 16 boards. I think, though, as you said, they came back. I feel like this is a moral win, especially watching Jaden McDaniels be awesome. Taking the ball to the hole, 26 for him, 4 threes, shooting an incredible percentage from the floor and 2 blocks. So I do feel like there's some wins there as they scrapped. And Anthony Edwards just getting the crowd going in Minnesota. So it was a fun loss, I would say, for them, because they were pretty shorthanded.
And it was a back-to-back situation for Minnesota as well, and like missing all those big guys. And just to get back in the game, taking the lead. Michael Porter Jr. just went off there in the fourth quarter, though. I mean, Jokic did his thing. But I thought he had like that personal, it was like a little 7-0 run there, and then hit another big one in the corner. What'd your takeaway from the game?
MPJ was huge, absolutely, and he's part of the reason the Nuggets have been so good coming out of the All-Star break. Before the All-Star break, 16 points per game on 47% shooting, 39 from 3. Since, 20 a game, 54 and 43 from the field and from the three-point line, respectively. He's just coming into his own, and he's peaking at the right time. He had a pretty bad finals last year, and the Nuggets were still able to win, but you see what happens when everybody's playing well. They're basically unbeatable. I watched Wagner versus Howard in the first 4 last night. Exact same game. They made so many threes in the last 1 minute to come back. Howard did against Wagner, and then they had 3 looks at it in the final 10 seconds, couldn't knock it down. That's exactly what happened in Minnesota. They hit a ton of threes, and then they had an open one to tie the game. Anthony Edwards got away with just knocking down KCP, pulled up wide open 3.
Yeah.
Just left it pretty short. But my main takeaway from this was something Jim Peterson said with maybe like a minute left in the game. They have made all the shots.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it is for the Nuggets. KCP missed the layup with 4.5 minutes left. Then their possessions went like this. Reggie Jackson layup. Michael Porter Jr. 3. Reggie Jackson stepped out of bounds. That was like their one misstep. Quite obviously a misstep. Then a Jokic 3. Murray misses a 3. Jokic hits that little jumper over Mike Conley when they finally get the switch they wanted. Then Michael Porter Jr. goes to the free throw line, makes the first one, misses the second. Key play of the game was KCP grabbing that rebound. Kyle Anderson, completely ignores him on the box out because Jokic comes screaming in, tries to get a body on him. KCP just walks into the offensive rebound. Jokic goes to the line. He makes 1 of 2 free throws, makes the second one, then 2 free throws from MPJ, 2 free throws from Murray. It is tough to beat the Nuggets because they never beat themselves. They always get good looks, and they usually make them.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up that one bucket there from Jokic. I think it was 107-103 with about a minute to go, and Murray and Jokic just kept running high pick and rolls to get eventually the switch they wanted. McDaniels and Conley trying to keep switching it, and finally Jokic gets Conley on him. Jamal gets him the ball. I mean, just the size difference is hilarious. He
didn't elbow him in the face this time?
No, he didn't. He just backed him up a couple times there. A few back down dribbles. McDaniels didn't commit enough. You got to worry about Jamal Murray. And Jokic is going to pass it. He sort of got caught in no man's land, and then Jokic just hit his little, patented little push floater, whatever you want to call it, over Conley. So that was a huge bucket. But that's right. Down the stretch, that's like those two, it's always going through them. And then everybody else was just, they were just buckets. It's just tough to stop this team.
Yeah, it was cool to see Michael Porter Jr. basically run that Duncan Robinson type of thing. The dribble handoffs, running around a screen. That's how Duncan Robinson did it in the finals. We'll see if Michael Porter Jr. can maybe do that in the finals if the Nuggets get there, because he did have a quiet finals. But he was just literally running around, just waiting for Jokic to find him. A weird game for Jokic because they didn't double him, so he couldn't get the passes he usually does. Only 2 assists from him. That's kind of strange, but that's what the Wolves are going to do. Jamal Murray did the rest of it. 11 assists for him when they were just doing their thing at the end of the game. They're just a damn good squad. And even though their bench wasn't ridiculously awesome, the one worry coming into the season, is their bench going to be good enough? They lost Bruce Brown and all that. They were good enough. Like you mentioned, all those Reggie Jackson down the stretch, Peyton Watson doing enough. They have enough guys, that's for sure.
I didn't think Jamal Murray played a particularly great game last night. He was sloppy with the ball, especially in the third quarter there, though he did rack up the assists, like you said. But he made one extremely heads-up play late. The Wolves had just hit a 3, surprise, surprise, to cut it to 3. It was 109-106. There's 30 seconds to go. Minnie didn't have to foul, and they chose not to, right? So they put some full-court pressure on. KCP got the ball back from Jokic sort of in transition because they sort of doubled Jokic on the side. KCP gets it. But then he throws this weird I think he thought he was going to get fouled maybe, and maybe there was some contact, but he sort of just chucks it over his head to the sidelines. And Jamal Murray has to hustle to get to it to beat Nickeil Alexander-Walker to the ball. And so not only keep it from going out of bounds, Jamal Murray, but then he decides, I'm just going to tap it in one motion to Michael Porter Jr. in the corner, and then he drove and got the foul and went to the line there, and that's what set up that one missed free throw. Yep. But heads-up play there, that was a bad pass. And that could have been really bad if that had just gone out of bounds, or even Jamal, didn't tap it, or he taps it out of bounds. That was a smooth play, and all these little things obviously matter in the end.
Got to beat that team 4 times in 7 games.
Good. I mean, that's why I'm not picking against them. So when Jamal and Jokic is in the final minutes, and then of course Michael Porter Jr. This is the thing. Michael Porter Jr. will have these stretches. We've seen Aaron Gordon have these stretches. We've seen KCP have these stretches where they're the third offensive juggernaut. They'll all take turns. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. I can't picture it, honestly. The way this team is currently constructed.
It's tough to imagine. You had Jokic literally laughing at the defense they were playing. Yeah. You're gonna give me a wide open 3 from the top? That's the only one I like to take. Knocked down quite a few of them, and then laughed at Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other notes?
Yeah, it's hard to think that Anthony Edwards is telling the truth when he said he's going to be one of the Minnesota Timberwolves that takes them to the finals. For sure. I do think with watching Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns out, you just need other guys to step up, obviously. And Jaden McDaniels, as I brought up, is that sort of that fourth guy, behind those two, and Anthony Edwards as the guy who was signed to a contract extension. Looks like an all first, second defensive team guy. Yeah. But the offense has not been there. But he went and tied his season high, his career high, actually, with 26 yesterday. I mean, that's the problem is the three going to fall the way it did yesterday because they're just going to clog it against everybody on this team. So, when we're talking playoffs and we're talking about the Minnesota Timberwolves advancing further than they did last year, which was, again, they got bounced in the first round. So I think Anthony Edwards may be a little too presumptuous, but that's why this guy is fun. Can they do it? And can Jaden McDaniels really help out? I mean, they're going to need guys, and they have been pretty bad in fourth quarters this season. Very bad, actually, when you look at the offense and clutch situations. So can't wait. I can't wait. They also have them 2 more times before the regular season ends.
Yeah, that's right. So that was a big win there for Denver in their season series matchup because Minnie took the first game. So they're 1-1 now with 2 to go, like you said, both in Denver. Moving on.
Hold on. One last thing. I got a new nickname. I call Luka Garza GTL. Jim Tan launch threes.
There you go.
The guy was battling
He
Jokic
played hard,
last night.
man.
He played hard. He's very, very tan.
Yes.
And he shot 2 of 8 from 3. And according to NBA.com's tracking data, he held the ball for 1 second per touch. It felt like it. As soon as he touched it, he shot a 3.
Let it rip.
Shot 43% in the G League from 3 last year. But I think I'd rather have Towns taking those shots.
Yeah. You obviously are missing your key guys there. You said was like this, like a good loss, when you consider the back-to-back and missing your 3 big guys. I sort of agree with that a little bit. It's never really true. But those guys did play hard. I thought Nickeil Alexander-Walker played really well. Yeah. You said McDaniels already. Kyle Anderson gave it his all trying to guard Jokic. To get back in the game even, I mean, this could have turned easily into a runaway blowout. And then that was the Ant takeover. I mean, how fun was that? When he had that place going nuts. They were standing for minutes on time. I'm not sure they've ever sat back down, that crowd, after he was getting them going after that huge little Euro step inside.
Yeah.
It was fun.
They want to play for home court advantage because they do have a crowd that gets up for them, for sure. But that was their 4th line center, GTL. Mr. Luka Garza was playing against, along with Kyle Anderson, was playing against Nikola Jokic. So you can look at it, just make it up and say it's a moral victory. But they were playing extremely hard. All
right, let's go to Jalen Green. 42 points to lift the Rockets to their 6th straight win. Now, they played the Wizards. They crushed them 137-114. But Jalen Green tied his career high, Trey, with 42. He basically broke open a tie game in the third quarter. It was 76 all, and then he hit 2 straight threes. Then he had an insanely acrobatic 3-point play that was pretty. And, this guy's coming off the Western Conference Player of the Week, and he's kicking ass here. In March, he's averaging 26.6 points per game, 6 boards, 3 assists, shooting almost perfect 50-40-80 from the floor. 50% perfect, 40% perfect from 3, 80.5% at the free throw line. But they're not out of it. They're 2.5 back from the play-in because they keep winning here.
They keep winning here, and who knows if maybe LeBron or Steph picks up an injury that keeps him out for a couple of weeks at this time of the year. It could be tough timing, but you got to give credit to the Rockets for even staying in this season. Once Şengün went down, it could have been very easy to say, we're done, but they're obviously bought in right now. I kind of think their run that they're on is similar to the Magic last season. They started 5-20. They were out of it right away. That's different than Houston this year. They started well, but the Magic stuck with it. They finished 29-28 over the last couple of months of the season, rode that momentum into the next year where now they're looking like a locked-in playoff team. I think that's probably what the Rockets want to do, pathway-wise. Staying competitive here in the second half of the season. They've got so many young guys that even when they lose Şengün to injury, or if they decide to sit down Fred VanVleet or Dylan Brooks, they've got guys who are going to take the opportunity. And Jalen Green's absolutely running away with the in-season most improved player. Because he was pretty bad through the first couple of months of the season. So you go and look at his season-long stats. Still bad, but he's running away with it here in March. He's been really, really good. Like you said, he had that sick layup, completely caught fire in the third, had another look-away 3, but I don't like... When he does the look-away 3, He looks back to check to see.
Yeah,
He's done it twice.
You got to just leave it, man.
You got to leave it. You got to trust in it. But, he doesn't have a long track record of success, so maybe in April he'll be doing those true lookaways. He's looking solid. He's looking solid right now, and shout out to Stacey King. There's 5 Amen Thompsons out there when he's playing.
Oh, he's good.
25 points, 10 rebounds, 10 of 12 from the field, a couple assists, only 1 block, but he reminds me of Sean Marion, where you're like, suddenly there's a guy cutting down the lane for a wide open jam. He can be the role guy for this team. He can play out on the wing. He can back cut. He had a really nice tip dunk in this one.
Yeah.
He's been stuffing the stat sheet since he's been able to get some run here.
I think he has 11 offensive rebounds over his last 3 games, and he's shooting 75% from the floor, Thompson is, over this 6-game win streak. You're right. He is everywhere. Him and Jalen Green. And that's a good comparison, I think, to the Magic, too, for another reason. They're going to win these games mainly because of their defense. That was sort of the Magic thing that continued into this season, and the Rockets with Udoka and bringing those guys in. Let's, lock in defensively, and if then Jalen Green is enough of a pop offensively, that's a nice pairing. So that's a great comparison. They would hope that next season, whether they get into the play-in or not, that they're like what the Magic are doing in the Eastern Conference, where you're like at least a top 6 seed next season. And what you see from them and the way Jalen Green's playing right now, you can understand why they could think that way.
Yeah, and that's why they signed up a lot of vets for at least 2 years. Mm-hmm. And then the 3rd year, well, you know what? We're going with all the young guys because they are producing here. Rookie year for Amen Thompson, that 25 points that he had last night, career high. And he has been starting a little bit more recently. And it was cool to see him actually on the bench as he is just soaking it all in, playing NBA basketball. He was getting Steven Adams, who's now on the Houston Rockets, talking to him. Had a vet in there talking to him, and Steven Adams made him chuckle because he always makes him chuckle. He makes everybody laugh. But he is one of those vets that are on this team, not for the long term, like Fred VanVleet, signed through next season as a guaranteed guy. Jock Landale blocking every friggin' shot. I think he had 5 blocks in this one. To support a guy like Jalen Green, who had 19 in the first quarter, that lay-in was so amazing, where he just leapt in the freaking air forever. And then as somebody tried to contest it, he just went under it and scored. And putting up a 3 and start running back, like he was literally running back, then decide to turn around. It wasn't I'm going to look the other way, then look at the rim. So yeah, he's feeling it now at this point of his career. I think Ime Udoka went from you're not the guy to run every possession through to begin the season, which was a smart thing to do. He was getting the ball at different spots, but he has taken a lot of threes, and the threes are kind of hurting him a little bit. But I think he's just growing, and he's growing beside Fred. And I thought that contract for Fred was far too long, but it only is guaranteed for the 2 years. So TBD.
Jock Landale had 7 blocks.
Did he?
But 5 of them were against Jordan Poole.
Oh, yeah.
Jordan Poole got blocked 6 times in this game. 5 times
crazy,
from Jock. So maybe that's why you had 5 on the mind, but 7 overall. Not a great game for
No,
Poole.
I didn't know that. I didn't know he was
And they were
blocked
missing
5
a
times.
ton of guys, too. And, I mean, not that they're good when their normal guys are there, but dominant victory that the Rockets are just 2.5 back from the play-in. It's exciting. We have all these other playoff races that we've got our eyes on, right? Top of the West, number 1 seed. All these positions, basically, 4 through 10, if not 11 now, because we have the Rockets hanging around, and then all the stuff in the Eastern Conference. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, the Rockets get the Warriors one more time this season, so that could matter.
Sure.
Pop the Champagne. That was a nice shot from Justin Champagne. That was nice. He had a good game off the bench. These guys are all getting minutes now because people are out. Let's hope Johnny Davis gets a freaking contract from somebody.
Yeah, I saw some Wizards fans saying that last night's starting lineup was I was a Wizards fan back when they were this bad. Starting lineup, because it was like Poole, Johnny Davis, Kispert, Rashawn Holmes, and I forget who their 4 was.
Baldwin. Patrick Baldwin Jr.
Every team's got a starting 5 of guys you're like, whoa, that guy's starting and he's the best player right now. It was Paul Zipser for the Bulls.
Yeah. Damn.
The Raptors are doing it now too.
Oh, yeah, we are. Nobody's playing right now. Let's go to Kyrie Irving leading the Mavericks past the Spurs. Close game, 113-107. Really bad game for Luka shooting the ball. Still got his trip dub, but they sweep the season series. Any big takeaways from Mavs Spurs. I don't have a whole lot of notes on this one, if I'm being honest.
No, there shouldn't be many notes. I did find it odd. They gave Daniel Gafford 3 post-ups to start this game against Wemby, of all people. First of all, Daniel Gafford doesn't do that ever. I mean, never. He doesn't get a post-up, but he went for the first 3. They gave him the ball. He was just going at Wemby. He scored once. He scored the first one. I don't know why they kept going to. But Luka,
hot.
He
Started 1-1.
Yeah, 1-1. Luka, his worst shooting night.
Ever?
Yeah.
I mean, I assume so. 6 for 27.
Is it ever?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
9 for
I mean,
29 was, that's bad. What is that? 22.2%.
222.
There you go. Yeah, so that's pretty bad. But Kyrie was good. And I like watching Dante Exum support this team because he could be, they went to him a lot. You know, he had 4 threes in this one off the bench, but he can be their third guy if they want to go to somebody else starting because he got hurt, so they put him on the bench to come back. But J. Kidd can decide if things are weird, Exum can help. Mm-hmm. So, that's it.
Anything else to add?
Nah, I mean, you pretty much nailed it. Luka had a terrible shooting game and still dominated. Finished with the triple-double, only 18 points on his 27 shots, but he threw a 75-foot alley-oop, and he also threw another
nice.
no-look over-the-head pass with 3 guys around him for a wide-open Exum 3. I did think it was an others win for the Mavs. Exum 4 threes, he hit the dagger, and then Kyrie was just Kyrie down the stretch, 4 of 5 in the last 6 minutes. Luka didn't have it going. Good thing you got another one of the best clutch players ever over there.
That's right. Well, let's go to Zion Williamson with the high-flying slam to lead the Pelicans past the Nets, 104-91. New Orleans clinched its 2nd consecutive winning season, something the franchise hadn't done since 2009 when they were the old Hornets. So it's been a while since back-to-back consecutive winning seasons. Zion, 28 points on 16 shots, 7 boards, 4 assists. And the highlight, we've got the photo where he gets thrown the alley-oop and he reaches back and thunders home the alley-oop dunk. Incredible pick from the Pelicans. A lot of people comparing it to, I guess this was Bupkis from Monstars. Very similar, even sort of New Orleans Pelicans colors there on Bupkis.
The Bupkis
Monstar.
throwdown.
I saw CJ Toledano tweeting that, and a lot of people were, but another just kick-ass victory here from the Pels, and Zion, it's just like, hold your breath. Let's just hope this guy's healthy and good to go in the postseason because he's rolling right now.
What was Dorian Finney-Smith looking at in that picture? I mean, he was looking a different direction. I know Zion came out of absolutely nowhere to come in just after the semicircle, basically. That is a long jump and a terrible pass. It was a bad
From
pass.
Najee Marshall?
Yeah.
Well, it was a good pass for
It
us.
worked out for us.
Yeah.
Because that guy looks amazing. ESPN with a report that he's lost 25 pounds during the regular season.
Since the in-season tournament. Is that
was it?
Is that what they were saying?
Probably.
I thought Lindor said
CJ
that.
McCollum said he had a talk with him, and he's been doing extra conditioning for months, and it looks like it.
Yeah. If you remember the photos
awesome right
from
now.
the beginning of the season, it looks different. There's no doubt.
Absolutely.
I don't know if there's a scale under the wood somewhere where you could actually, that's what they should do. They should get a scale,
When you're at the
underneath
free throw line.
somewhere, exactly. Exactly.
yeah.
Just so you know, from the beginning of the season to now, how much he's lost. Yeah, he looks like a different guy, obviously. He's their point guard at times.
Oh, sure.
That's the way they finished the game the other night, and they said, CJ, sit down. CJ would be great as a support 3-ball shooter, even if Zion is the point guard, but they kind of ran a different system the other night, and in this one it was super easy. When he's playing like that, I mean, I felt like the Nets were too small for that guy at the rim.
Oh, yeah, they were.
Nick Claxton has got height, but not the girth. Even though he's lost 25 pounds, Zion's way bigger than that guy.
He could lose another probably 50 to be down to Claxton weight, to be quite honest. Did like the mint look from the Nets last night. They were doing something with the New York Liberty.
Yeah.
I don't know. International Women's Day was like a week ago,
Yeah.
but maybe this was just New York City.
Had they not been home in a while? I
don't know what it was, but it looked cool.
It did.
If you're a bad team, though, you're going to lose to the Pelicans. I saw this stat from Karthika Uthiakumar, who follows the Raptors most closely, but she tweeted yesterday, since December 28th, heading into this game, the Pelicans are 14-1 against teams with losing records, and they've beat sub-500 teams by an average of 18 points. Run it up now, I guess it would be 15-1 and still almost an average of 18 points. They forced 10 first half turnovers, got up by 24, and it was over. The Pelicans are taking care of business right now, and they're such an unselfish team. They scored 26 baskets in the first half, 20 assists on those ones.
Wow.
The ball moves like crazy. Zion is a point forward for him. Brandon Ingram is a point forward for him. Obviously, McCollum can handle the ball, but it doesn't seem like they care who's getting the shots right now. I saw a Pelicans beat reporter say that this is I've never seen a closer knit locker room. They feel like they're locked in together right now, and they're obviously as healthy as they've been in the past 3 seasons. So just another month of staying healthy, and the Pelicans are going to be fun in the playoffs.
Let's show you the Western Conference standings as we went through all those Western Conference wins. Thunder Nuggets basically tied at the top, but OKC still has the better win percentage, so we'll put them at 1. The Wolves drop a game back with that loss to the Nuggets. Clips, Pels right there. I mean, we were joking, maybe you want the 5th seed in that matchup. Steal one on the road early in that potential series. And then the Kings, Mavs, Suns, Lakers, and Warriors, and we have to include the Rockets now, who are only 2.5 back from the 10th seeded Golden State Warriors. Man, this is our March Madness, Taz. This right here.
Oh, come on. You're excited for actual March Madness. I see you making brackets and stuff.
I made some brackets. Yeah, I did make some brackets. Didn't watch a single second of the first 4. I just saw people laughing at Virginia, who apparently are a piece of shit and can't score the basketball.
14 points in the first half.
Yeah, and people were like, why were they even in this thing? We could have got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Could have got Creamy. Big cream.
So I'm with those people on that one.
Yeah, they went an hour, I heard, without a field goal. That's a long time.
Come on.
I don't think they scored the last 9 minutes of the first half.
Holy.
And they're pretty good at defense, so the other team didn't score a ton either. Yeah.
I was disappointed.
That's wild, man.
I think Virginia, is that John Hollinger's alma mater? And he even said, like, why is this team in? Yeah. His own team. He's like, they stink. Anybody but them.
Yeah, it sucks because my cornholes, my cornholes. My cornhole game.
Boards.
Boards, yeah. I'm talking about my cornea.
Call them my cornholes.
Yeah, that was my first time. They have the cover or the sleeve. You can get anything underneath the cover. It's the Virginia Cavaliers.
Yeah, that's right.
They got the swords, and that's disappointing. So now I'm just gonna play. I'm just gonna miss. Like I'm a real Cavalier.
He hasn't sunk one in an hour. He's loyal to the Virginia Cavaliers.
Just like John Hollinger. What does he say every time?
Wahoo-wah? Isn't that their thing?
I guess
Wahoo-wah.
Yeah, it's like a roll tide, but for those guys.
Hey, what do you think's going to happen first? We play Bago/cornhole or spike ball now that the weather's turning here?
You can play spike ball. Sorry to do this, but I'm JD, remind me. You can play. They're selling pickleball rackets to play spike ball.
Yeah, I see that.
That's weird, man.
Pickle spike.
Use your hand, man.
Just use your hand.
Even I am out on that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
How would you?
We cannot cross streams. No way. Ridiculous.
Okay, let's wrap up our game recaps here by slipping in the Magic, clinching at least a play-in spot with the 112-92 win over the Hornets. I guess Orlando had Charlotte looking like Virginia in this game because they went on a 40-9 run. Orlando did in the second quarter. And then I guess Micic hit a couple threes at the end of the quarter to make it a little more respectable, 40-15. But awesome win here from Orlando. And they're taking care of business, playing like really crappy teams. But they're winning all these games. And they are going to be at least in the play-in because the Brooklyn Nets in the 11th spot. Can't catch them. I don't know if you have any notes on this one.
Well, you mentioned the look of Virginia there because of the defense of the Orlando Magic. We just watched the Pelicans game. They've been the best defense since January 1, so they're going to be tough in the postseason. Magic are the same. They're awesome. They allowed 32 points in the first half against this Hornets team. They had a great answer for Brandon Miller in this game because they're so big. They're so big with Banchero was guarding him. And I know the Hornets don't have all their guys and LaMelo Ball and all that, but this team looks like they're going to play playoff defense. And then on offense, they're baseline cutting off the ball for everybody. And they had 41 assists because they like passing. Paolo Banchero with that beautiful behind-the-back pass there in the middle of the lane to go all the way to the corner was pretty cool. They're just looking for somebody to make some shots. And I don't know how much I'm going to buy into Gary Harris here as like the help-out guy to help be their three-point shooter guy, the guy that came there for Aaron Gordon in that trade from Denver. He come on late this season because he's been injured. He can hit shots. So they just need somebody to splash. So anyways, the Magic can play defense. They can pass. They got bigs. They need a guard. That's all that really matters right now.
Watch the Magic over basically the next week here because they play good teams now. and we'll really see how real this is and how the possibility of them trying to win a playoff series is, because their last 10 wins have come against losing teams. But they play now the Pelicans, the Kings, the Warriors, and the Clippers. They're all playing for seeding over there. They all want the wins just as much, but they're all at home, so this will be a good little litmus test here for the Orlando Magic, with Jalen Suggs getting into it with everyone. They play hard. They're fun. They really, they have an identity, which is the best part. But these are going to be some big games here this week.
Absolutely right. 17-5 in their last 22. The Magic are. They had a huge run. They won 9 straight at one point. Then they kind of fell off for a little bit. Thought, oh, maybe the tide is turning with the Magic, but no, they have stuck with it. And it's not uncommon to see somebody in their second season eventually hit a wall and get figured out a little bit. I don't feel like that's happened with Paolo at all. But you mentioned that pass. We are just on an epic highlight run right now. We had the Ant block and the Ant dunk. We had Jalen Green's triple game breaker. Also his dunk. We had the Zion dunk.
Yep.
Andre Jackson Jr. almost decapitated himself on the rim.
Yes.
And then this Paolo to Suggs play was incredible. The behind-the-back pass to the corner, and he looks away for so long that he never looks back.
Yeah.
He waits to hear the roar of the crowd to know that the shot went in, and then he's celebrating with people while everybody's going back to timeout. He's still looking at the crowd. A true look away. I was loving that one.
Yeah, I thought that was a guard. Literally, the first time I saw that, to be able to do that from the middle of the lane, that's a long pass to go behind the back like that.
So the Magic have secured their second non-losing season since 2011-12. That's a lot of years there.
Dwight Howard trade.
And this will be only their second, again, non-losing season. They went 42-40 in the 2018-19 season. They played the Toronto Raptors in the first round, and you can bet your ass they won game 1.
DJ Augustine,
25 points, hit a bunch of big threes. They pulled off that game 1 victory in Toronto, but Raps went on to win the next 4, and then the championship, of course. So good stuff from Orlando. Those are last night's games, unless you have any more Howard Wagner takes.
No more. No more. There was a guy named Council. He was tough to guard.
First name or last name?
Last name.
Oh, was he Council the Fifth?
No, he was Council Jr., though. So Ricky Council's grandfather, I think.
Oh, interesting. Okay. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get into some news and the all most improved teams. Don't go anywhere.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. What's the first thing you'd do if you had an extra hour in your day? A lot of us wish we had more time. But time for what, huh? What would you do? The best way to squeeze those things into your schedule is to know what's important to you and make it a priority. Therapy can help you find what matters to you so you can do more of it. It can be empowering. It can just simply be clarifying. Just a little clarification in the brain. It can just help you understand what you want to do from day to day. Hold on, is this a therapy session? Feels kind of good for me. Just talking about things. What do I need to do? Yeah, I'm helping myself right now. I'm starting to feel better just talking about therapy, frankly. It has helped me in the past, that is for sure. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Learn to make time for what makes you happy with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/nodunks today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/nodunks.
All right, back here in the Classic Factory. Got some news that, again, Tass sort of teased right at the end of yesterday's show. It's an article at The Athletic. We learned that the NBA is going to be infusing betting into live games on League Pass, which will soon feature the option for fans to wager on games in real time through the league's sports gambling partners. Options will be limited right now to point spreads, money lines, and over-unders. The new betting integration will be an opt-in function. So it's going to pop up, I guess, once on League Pass for the viewer, and you can choose whether you want the odds overlay. And it's only going to be available for now on your phone, mobile. What do you think about this micro betting and NBA League Pass incorporating it? Takeaways?
I think it's good that it's an option because I'm going to turn it off.
Right.
Can't imagine watching a game on my phone to begin with and then having to go in the vertical look and having it take up the entire thing. You're going to get hardly any game watching, but I don't know. It started with polls. Like, I remember back, who do you think is going to score the next basket?
Yeah.
Just get in for fun. They put that on League Pass. Oh, yeah, Markelle Fultz is going to do it. Markelle Fultz scores. You're just happy, man.
Yeah,
and now suddenly it's betting. Just like that.
Yeah. It's becoming more and more a part of every experience, that's for sure. When I heard about the beginning of the season, when it just showed up on everybody's television, every commercial was coming from DraftKings or whoever, I thought, well, this is kind of like Europe. That's what happens in soccer over there. And me being a Greek kid, that's what I saw when I was a youngster. Whoa, you can bet on this. Whoa, you can bet on this. You can bet on this game. I don't know who the heck this soccer team is, but you can bet on them. And the funny thing is, Europe, although they have made it a huge part of every single sport, they're trying to reverse those methods now because gambling has become a problem for people.
Right.
It has become an ultimate addiction, and it is an issue. And I find it strange that like DraftKings, FanDuel, they allow you to bet with your credit card, so money you do not have, because that is a problem. I mean, that is where, unfortunately, you see kids like 11 to 15, literally that young, in other places have problems. So that's the scary part, is that it could have an age requirement, number one. It could be money you actually have, where you fund an account. And I saw Miles Brown tweet about it. He said he lost a lot of money because he just puts it on a credit card.
Yeah.
And he's of age. But the thing is, the opt-in, sure, I guess that's good for League Pass users. I think this is just sort of a trial, because this isn't, as you said, it's not only on mobile, and it's only for if you have League Pass. So
it's only if you can legally gamble in your state too.
Yeah.
There's that, but this is the definition of a slippery slope, and we've seen it coming for a long time. And you're right. I mean, it feels like every second commercial in any broadcast it's from a gambling company with all the money pumped into it. And that's what's happened here with legalized gambling over the last little while in this country. It's like, well, there was all this money that was illegally being gambled. Let's get a portion of it. Let's get some of that. And, some of this does go to the players too, of course. But, man, that micro betting, which I believe has a pretty small share here in the U.S., but you said it, Tass, big market in Europe. That in-game betting on the next goal or whatever, the next play, that idea, it doesn't feel like a fun way for me. I don't mind sports betting, but I don't love how aggressive the marketing is. And I'm not the biggest fan of like live betting like that, micro betting, whatever you want to call it. But I guess there's obviously a market for it, or they at least want to grow that.
Sure.
But it's
that part is
I wonder if this is gonna burst, like this little bubble here, because it starts to feel like the league is like held up by all of this gambling money.
Yeah, that part's interesting with the live betting, because you're watching a stream, and then you have to go to the DraftKings or FanDuel website to make the purchase. So you're watching it and you're saying, all right, this team is minus whatever. They're down 17, so I'm going to make a pick. But when you go to that pick and you're watching on this live stream, it could be it's far later. It'll be far later. Anyway, so that part's weird.
But that's right now. They're going to want to integrate it so seamlessly that it's like it's right there on your phone. You just click. Oh, they're down 10. Oh, I like them to come back. Let me bet that.
Yeah.
Wow. Let's hear from you on this. I'm sure there's a lot of opinions on the micro betting and just where we're going with all of this gambling on the NBA. But let's pivot to our guy, TK, who's put together some all most improved teams. What inspired this, Trey?
Well, almost every award gets a set of teams along with it. MVP, you got the all-NBA teams. All defense, or defensive player of the year, all defense teams.
Yeah.
Rookie of the year, we got all rookie teams.
Good point.
There is one that I'm thinking of. Sixth man of the year. It'd be too weird to make a team out of sixth men.
Too many men.
Coaches would be funny too.
yeah. I guess there's not a all coaches team either. But there could be if we need content later down the line. Nonetheless, there's been a lot of players who improve, so why not make a couple of teams out of it?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I came up with, I told you, Skeets, 2.5 teams, because once we get to the third team, I'm just going to list some names. I'm going to give you cases for the first couple of guys. First couple of teams. The first team is basically all the favorites right now. And it broke down nicely to be guard, forward, center.
Oh.
So that was just nice.
Okay.
That was just a nice happenstance. Tyrese Maxey makes the team.
Yeah.
Year 4, he's averaging 26 points per game, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. Those are career highs for him. Also, his per 36 career high in points, which I think is important because, he's getting a lot more opportunity now. It makes sense that he would get boosted in scoring, but per 36, when they even them all out, still up 3 points per game on his career high. Plus the assists are there. He's got a career high free throw rate, PER, usage, and assist percentage. His shooting percentages are down because he has to take a lot more tough shots.
Yeah.
He hasn't got James Harden setting him up. So he's doing some other stuff out there. Maxey, you're making my team.
Yeah, and he's either going to win this award or at the very least come runner-up.
He's going to be a finalist, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep, another guy who's going to be a finalist, Kobe White.
Yeah.
Year 5 for Kobe White. He's averaging 19 points per game, career highs in points, rebounds, and assists. This is his best season, quite clearly, per 36, career high in points, plus 4.2 when he was a younger player and not getting as much time. His field goal percentage is a career high. His three-point percentage is a career high. His usage, PER, true shooting, they're all career highs. Best season of his career, Kobe White. You're making my most improved team.
Okay, those are the guards.
Let's move on to the forwards. Jalen Big Johnson, year 3. He's finally playing. Basically didn't play at all.
Yeah.
His rookie and second season, to the point where this year people are like, it's not his second year? No, there was even 1 year prior to last year when he never got in. So, no surprise, career high in points, rebounds, and assists. Career highs in field goal shooting, 51 from the field, and three-point shooting, 35% from the field. His scoring is up, but his other numbers are basically in line with his career per 36s, so he would actually probably be below Maxey and Kobe White for me if we're making a ballot.
Definitely opportunity finally. I mean,
Yeah.
this guy plays 34 minutes a game and played, 15 minutes a game?
Yeah,
Something like
exactly.
that last year, if that. Longer
Yeah.
than garbage time, probably.
John Collins was there, and at first I think this Hawks team hasn't done anything the last couple seasons, as in try to get better, other than DeJounte Murray. The John Collins felt like they're not getting anything back for him. At the same time, it has worked out because this guy is good. Jalen Johnson is very, very good, and he's the guy who high fives Trae Young the most. They seem like bros.
I think so.
So yeah, they actually, I'd take it back. They don't high five. It's a full handshake on the floor, which is weird to me. Full handshakes on the floor is always weird to me.
I wonder if they're going to keep doing that now that Trae Young had to have hand surgery.
Ooh, yeah.
Great call.
I heard Brian Windhorst talking about Jalen Johnson's legs on today's Hoop Collective podcast.
What do you have to say?
He liked him?
He was made for jumping.
Oh.
He says he's shorter than LeBron, but his waist is 2 to 3 inches taller than LeBron.
Wow, what a breakdown.
No, there's some leg facts for you.
Respect to that.
Most improved legs. Jalen Johnson.
He's only 22, too. He just turned 22.
legs get even longer is what you're saying.
Yep, he hasn't stopped growing. Keep an eye on that.
Giannis. All right. Our other forward on the all most improved first team, it's Jonathan Kuminga.
Yeah.
Year 3 for him, career high in points, rebounds, and assists. You're sensing a theme. He's also shooting the best he ever has from the field and from the free throw line. Just like Jalen Johnson, all of his other numbers are basically the same as his career per the 36s, but the scoring is up, and he doesn't take as many threes. So he's having his most efficient season. Kuminga just knows how to play now. I think he's become a real guy. He's awesome.
Yeah, he's going to... All four of those guys, I feel like, are going to be obviously getting votes, if not winning it, and just on ballots there when MIP is actually voted on.
Our center is Alperen Şengün. He's down. He's hurt right now, probably out for the season, but we'll see if he needs to come back for one last play-in push for the Rockets. Nonetheless, in his third season, he's career high in points, rebounds, and assists. His scoring is up 5 points per 36 minutes, which is pretty good. Drastically higher usage. He's improved his efficiency, and he's just a number one guy. Also the lowest turnover percentage of his career, so he takes care of the ball and he scores it really well. And he's just a hub out there.
Yeah, Udoka decided. Some people saw it, they visioned it, and they're like, you should be running more things through this guy. Like your Jokic and your Sabonis's and stuff like that. He delivered this year before the injury, so makes sense that he's the starter on your almost improved team.
Let's move to the second team.
Okay,
We'll start with the guards. Jalen Suggs. Welcome to the squad, buddy. Year 3 for him, a career high in scoring, field goal percentage, and most importantly, three-point percentage. He's shooting 40% from 3, taking by far the most threes he ever has in his career. The defense hasn't taken a step back at all. He's finally putting the 3 in 3 and D. So Jalen Suggs, you make my team.
I like that. Any issues with that
No,
one?
he looks awesome. He just looks great.
That's the best way to put it. The defense, he's going to be an all first defense guy or at least second team. He's going to be on that for a long time. He'll be, he's Marcus Smart vibes, right?
Yep.
But you got to add the shot. You can't hurt your team on the other end. 40% from 3, that surprised me. On, like you said, 5.2 attempts per game. He's
shooting
a
them.
decent clip,
Yeah, he's gone better as the season has
So-
gone on, shooting the ball, that's for sure. I think there will be some people who just think defense. Shea's gotten a lot better at defense. I mean, he's just always been good. Maybe there might be some Shea votes, even though he's just awesome.
Whoa.
I mean,
That's
there could be some votes, just because he's He was an All-NBA first team last year, so how much can you
that's
improve? But
problem.
he's definitely not going to win anything. But I think there will be some votes just because he's gotten even better in the MVP rating, I would say. MVP look, MVP
He's closer
storyline
to winning MVP this year.
than last year where he was 5th, yeah.
He gets 0 votes on my team, though. Our second guard on the second team almost improved, and basically the entire reason I came up with this, Ayo Dosunmu. I think he's improved a lot. Year 3 for him. It's his best scoring season. He's taking and making more threes than ever, the highest three-point rate of his career, and he's shooting 39%. He also had his career high twice, like in the second half of the season here. I like to see that from a guy who's most improved. Having your best career games as the season goes on, great stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was Michael Pina tweeted the other day, when doing most improved, it shouldn't be season to season. It should just be that season. So from the start of game 1 to the start of 80 to the end of 82, how much do you actually improve within that year? And then I said, oh God, so now rookies are going to win most improved?
They could.
Oh
They
boy.
could.
I was joking when I tweeted that back to him, but okay. Ayo, it's on your squad.
Controversial one for you, Skeets, but I had to do it. Jalen Williams.
Oh, we got a second-year guy.
It's only a second year, but scoring and assists
awesome.
are both up per 36 minutes, and he's shooting 45% from 3. He just got so good that I couldn't ignore it, even though I didn't want to put a second-year guy on it either.
Oh, okay. So you sort of side with me on
Totally,
that.
yeah.
But this guy's badass.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
guy's clutch. You see how different they are even when he plays and he doesn't. Huge fan of Jalen Williams' game. So I have no issues. Especially we're talking second
Team almost improved. Yeah. Paolo Banchero didn't get a sniff, though. I'll tell you that much.
Oh,
even though I do think he's gotten better.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a small chance that Jalen Williams will be on the first team. I know Jalen Johnson should be better than him, but just because the Hawks have not gotten a lot of headlines, while Jalen Williams is part of one of the best teams in the league, and if you look at the odds, he's up there. I guess people are betting on him because he's currently 3rd in odds for most improved player overall.
I was thinking when you were bringing up Shea, because I was like, he was on most improved list last year. He finished 2nd. Shea did. And then, you know how Basketball Reference now shows awards when you go through every year?
Yes.
He's appeared on 3 different most improved lists through his season. I wonder what the record is. Like, you'd have to almost go through guy by guy or figure out a way to do it. Like, who has appeared on the most improved
That's a great question.
ballots? And what would that number be? Like 5, 6? I don't know.
I think Maxey was he got some most improved votes his second year. He'll get some this year as well. More votes, that's going to be tough.
Yeah.
That is. Siakam, I think, might be in the mix for a guy who showed up. Julius Randle, probably, because he's an upsy-downsy kind of guy.
Where's Schumann at? We need you to
most
break that one down.
improved ballots appeared on. That's a great stat that we
It's
need.
got to be Aaron Aflalo because his points increased for 7 seasons.
Okay, I don't mind it.
I'm
It
looking.
ain't.
It's
ain't.
not?
No.
No.
Just 3 for him.
3 in a row, though, is impressive.
Yeah, that is impressive.
That's impressive. Okay, that's
Impressive.
a fun one. We gotta
Impressive
figure that one
that
out.
some schmuck somewhere said, you know what, this guy's on there. It's just a voter. It's just
one
a
vote.
random
Well, that's
voter.
the thing. It's like the 1 year for Aflalo. Most improved. He finished 24th.
One vote.
So he got 1 vote.
Nice.
But still, he's on a ballot. Somebody show him
counts.
some love. Yeah. All right, back to you.
Other forward on the second team almost improved is Duncan Robinson.
Dunk.
Because he got good at one specific thing. He can do 2-pointers now. He's taken more attempts inside 10 feet this season than he has in any season the rest of his career, shooting pretty good percentages. Playmaking's a little better, and he's still shooting 40% from 3. This guy barely could play for the Heat last season. They were talking about him as one of the worst contracts in the league. Then he obviously got it going in the second half of the year, was pretty solid throughout the playoffs for Miami, and now we got him doing like hot sauce moves on the baseline. Duncan Robinson.
Okay.
He stamped his place on the team when he did that behind the back on the baseline. Said he has only done it twice in his life, and once was in the NBA. Respect.
Wow. He's improved his ball handling and his attacking.
Final guy, I don't know. This one's a confusing one. Is he a center? Sometimes. Did he improve? Yeah. But did he win Rookie of the Year? Yeah. Year 3, Scotty Barnes. Good, bad, good. Career highs, though, in points, rebounds, and assists. 34% from 3 on way more attempts. He jacked up his usage. He's got a high assist percentage. He's done for the season as well, but I do feel like Scotty Barnes certainly is better than he was in his second year, and he's still way better than he was in his rookie year as well.
Yes.
And he's the number 1
He
dude.
has grown. He has grown.
So I think
for
that's
sure.
good.
Okay. Yeah. And spot minutes at the center position. Sure.
Spot minutes at the exactly. Like he blocks a lot of shots.
Yeah.
And it was hard to find another center because I'll tell you my third team really quick. It's Dante DiVincenzo, Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Ooh, I like that. Good.
Herb Jones, who was my final cut for the second team, Denny Avdia, and Mo Wagner.
Mo Wagner gets some love.
Mo Wagner's been hitting the glass.
I was, when you said you were going to do this, I was like, I wonder if Nickeil Alexander-Walker is going to get a little Trey Kirby love. So
Just
he
a
slips
little
into the
love
third
sprinkle
team.
there.
He's improved. He played. Yeah, we didn't even talk about him much from last night's game. I thought he was good. All right. Any names missing from those 15?
Are there any
else is improved?
names
The
missing?
16th most improved player in the league.
No, I've been scouring the most improved player award winners now. Well, I like these random facts, excuse me. Forwards have won 14 of the past 20 most improved player awards. No true center has won since 2002.
Oh, that's interesting.
Who's the
True?
center who won most improved player in the year 2002?
Is it a white guy?
No,
Irvin Johnson?
the opposite of white. Because he's black.
Tariq Black?
No, good guess. Good guess. Very good
Too
guess.
early.
2002.
Yeah, it's hard to think of this guy. He came out of high school. So it's kind of hard to think of this guy.
Jermaine O'Neal?
Jermaine O'Neal, yeah.
Good one.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's tough.
True center? I guess he. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
he
guess.
definitely was.
Yeah.
He barely played with the Blazers. He
Yeah.
must have won that when he went to the Pacers.
Yeah, must have.
Oh wow. So
But
it's
he'd
been
been
a
in the
long
year.
time.
Random deal was good.
He'd been in the league. That was his 6th season, I guess.
Wow.
Oh, that's what they used to do back in the day. It wasn't to like these third and
Wasn't.
fourth year
It
guys
wasn't.
who have turned into sort of all NBA All Star level guys. It was like these Turkaloos and
He's Turkaloos.
Jermaine
Aaron
O'Neal.
Brooks.
yeah, right. Those type of guys. I guess there was the odd one every once in a while. Like Danny Granger turned into an All Star. He definitely won one of those. I feel like a lot of Pacers have most improved.
They do.
Yeah,
They improve a lot, these teams. These Pacers.
good at growing their guys.
Wow. The Pacers have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 most improves.
Yeah.
It's got to be the most.
That's a lot. Okay. Good stuff. Well, let's hear from the people out there. Who did Trey miss? What do you think of his teams? And is this something the NBA should look into adding? The all most improved teams. And maybe we can get Victor Solomon to do some more vases.
Get you a Victor vase.
Okay, before we go, tweet of the night.
Tweet of the night. Wow.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about this yesterday because it's OG Anunoby getting injured again. And then there was a tiny piece of drama since yesterday. So just back to OG and how he's hurt. He had elbow surgery. As we know, a loose bone fragment was removed. He missed over a month, but then he came back against Portland. He looked pretty good. He had a good game, although he left the game after yanking a ball from DeAndre Ayton because his elbow was bugging him. He said he called it rapid movement when he makes rapid movement, but he fought back and he played in that game. Next game, he was 1 for 8 versus Sacramento. Didn't look particularly comfortable shooting the ball. And then the third game, he said he was ready to guard Curry. He said, I'm ready to do that, but he was a late scratch. And he flew back to New York, and he had an MRI on his elbow because it was aggravating him. MRI, clear. So all good. But this is a bit of a concern, I'd say, for the New York Knicks here. He's not going to play Thursday against Denver. Very, very unlikely on the road there. But it hasn't been determined when he will return. And then I saw this tweet. It was basically Stefan Bondi of the NY Post wrote this in his article about OG Anunoby, quote, according to people familiar with his tenure in Toronto, where Anunoby missed lots of time with injuries, the 26-year-old isn't comfortable playing through pain. Now, a couple of us are from Toronto. We've got Jerome up there working in Toronto who worked with the team. I didn't hear any of this. I know I brought it up, and why they traded OG Anunoby was in part because he did miss games.
Yeah.
In part because they weren't going to sign him to a long-term deal as well, obviously. But he did miss a lot of games, but I didn't hear that once. Drum, I don't know if you're listening, if you heard that once, but I don't buy that he had a problem. And whoever said this to Stefan Bondi, I don't buy it at all, where he would just literally say, I've got a problem. I'm not playing other than, to be injured. So I'm concerned about OG and when he's coming back. I think that should be a concern where he's got an injury here, had to get another MRI. Again, it's clean. So I don't know. Do you have any substance to this? Were there people in Toronto saying that guy doesn't play when he's hurt?
I don't remember any of that.
He's been around
I
a
don't
long
remember
time.
any like label of soft or he could go and he's not. He was just injured a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So no, that's news to me. The other thing is I love this idea like a guy gets surgery and it's just like, okay, well, that's done. He's all taken care of. It's like, no, things can get re-aggravated, especially when you come back and start playing. It's like an elbow flare is what they're saying. Like it's probably painful. And it wasn't when he was ready to go in that one game and played a couple and then it's hurt again. So it's like that unfortunately happens. So sucks for Knicks and Knicks fans, but I don't know. I'm not reading too much into this report or maybe the way it was twisted into the tweet. Like, cause it's like suddenly just looks like, oh, he could play, but he doesn't want to play through the pain. And that's what Tibbs wants, those type of guys, those hard-nosed guys. Bring your lunch pail to work every day, no matter how bad your back hurts, you know?
Yeah.
But we'll see. I think he'll be back is my point.
Well, that's what the Knicks said after was that the Kings game when he reached for something and it got pushed back the other way. They're
Right.
like,
It
it's
was
going to be a
that
pain tolerance thing.
Yeah.
And then he tried to play 2 games and apparently it hurts too much, but it's not totally surprising. You wouldn't hear it when he's in Toronto. They would be protecting him.
Yeah. Yeah. And does it happen with other players?
Definitely
Sure,
it does. Nene was a guy who would famously take forever to come back from injury. So I don't know. I mean, he misses a lot of time and his absences are long. But also, you want to be 100% when you're playing? I don't blame you. He was hurt in college and stuff.
Yeah. And I mean, it's also you get into this like if this was the playoffs, if they started tomorrow, would he play? Would he play through the pain and give it a go? We don't know. My guess is yes. This is still the regular season. They still don't even have all their guys back. I know they're jockeying for position, but they're sort of settling into their spot there in the conference. You'd prefer being healthy in a potential playoff series than whatever they're racing for in terms of a seeding. So I think he would play if it was the playoffs.
Okay.
But who knows?
Who knows? That
He knows
is
his
for
body
sure.
better than I do, man.
Yeah, and our man Jerome chimed in here. He said it's news to me.
Okay.
He seemed, if anything, more sullen that he couldn't play through the 2019 championship run, which he didn't play at all in those playoffs because he, air quotes, was injured and then couldn't play. And I guess he was sullen. What a good word. But, not feeling good, maybe a little gloomy that he wasn't able to play through it. But Jerome also has a tinge of Kawhi in San Antonio and load management, and Kawhi saying at the beginning of the season that he's hurt and doesn't play and would play if he wasn't. So all that to say, somewhat what you were just saying there, Skeets. If it's the playoffs, he would have played. But the interesting thing to me, not so much the Stefan Bondi line here where many people familiar with his tenure in Toronto, so that's several people. That just isn't one person. More so than that, it's that he had to get another MRI on his elbow because it has been bothering him. So they just double checked it. He plays. If you watch these first couple of games that he's played with, he's got like this sort of, I don't even know what to call it, but it's like this sticky thing on his elbow. You don't see it with too many players. You see it on a shoulder, but to support his elbow, he's got this support there. So hopefully he'll be all right. Just want to bring it up because it is the New York Knicks, and they have been awesome with him. And then without him, they still won with Jalen Brunson being awesome against the Golden State Warriors.
I would just add, I think the guy would want to play for a couple of reasons. One, when he plays, they win nonstop. What are they, 15-2 when he's joined them on the floor with the New York Knicks?
Something like that.
And then the other thing, you said it, you slipped it in earlier. I mean, he has a player option for next year at $19 million. He should turn that down and obviously hit free agency and get a bigger deal, especially when you see his impact to winning. That you don't, you want to be playing when you have a contract situation coming up here and showing your worth. So hopefully for Knicks fans, I mean, I hope all these guys are back across all these teams and we get as fully loaded as possible rosters for the playoffs because that's what you want, or NBA fans want.
Maybe he just wanted to play tennis with Julius Randle, who's out for the Knicks and playing tennis, as he brought up yesterday, Trey. He's playing tennis, but he ain't playing basketball quite yet.
He should play spike ball with paddles.
Pickle spikes.
Yeah, pickle spikes, as they call it, yeah. All right, that's Tweet of the Night. Let's call it there. We got some decent games on tonight. I guess there's 2 other first 4 games on in the college world.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know who's playing, but we also have Heat Cavs, Bucks Celtics. I don't believe Giannis is playing, which is unfortunate. And Sixers Suns. Those are 3 of the better ones. We'll be back here tomorrow to break down those and NBA news and hell. You know what? Maybe we should fill out a bracket tomorrow. Live on the show.
Let's do it.
Just we'll do it as quick as possible. Jackrabbits all the way through. That's the
I
15th.
put him as a win in my bracket.
So did I.
That's him. I might have him to the second
Because you
round.
know as soon as we don't, they'll win.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we'll feel like fools.
Who'd you pick to win?
I think I picked in one of my brackets. I think I picked North Carolina.
Multiple brackets?
Yeah. Well, no, it's the same bracket actually. It is the same bracket.
Yeah,
I put
picked
it in
North
2
Carolina
spots.
as well.
You went North Carolina as well?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I went North Carolina versus South Carolina just because it's a great story.
Good luck to
That's
you.
how I do my reasoning. Anyway, we'll do that on tomorrow's show. So we will see you here at 10 a.m. Eastern, live on YouTube. Until then, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us, and remember, Yale is in this tournament as well. I got excited because there's a Greek on that team that can shoot, so I'm taking Yale as an
Yale
upset,
to the
13-4.
Oh,
Sorry,
do it.
Bruce Pearl, you ain't winning. You're playing Yale.
See you later,
Yale.
Brucey.
John Pulakidas. This guy can shoot, man.
Is it?
Yeah,
All right.
he can shoot, but he's probably gonna lose.
Brace the day, people.